Captain Lisa Grant stepped off the transport shuttle and looked around the massive space station. New Geneva Station was huge, bigger than any space station she had ever seen before. Ships of all sizes floated in the docking bays, some human, and some alien. The air smelled like metal and recycled oxygen, just like every other space station in the galaxy. Lisa had been traveling for 3 weeks to get here. She was excited and nervous at the same time. Today she would finally see her new ship, the Horizon's Edge. The Federation had spent 5 years building it, using the best technology from different alien races. It was supposed to be the most advanced exploration ship ever made. She walked through the crowded corridors of the station. Humans mixed with tall blue Zeltharians and the four-armed Vorthons. Everyone seemed busy with their own work. Lisa checked her watch. She was supposed to meet Chief Engineer Zektar in 1 hour. The briefing room was on level 7 of the station. Lisa took the elevator up and found the room easily. Inside, she saw a group of engineers standing around a large table. Most of them were Zeltharians, with their blue skin and large black eyes. One human woman sat at the end of the table looking at a tablet computer. "Captain Grant," said a tall Zeltharian as Lisa entered the room. His English was good but had a strange accent. "I am Chief Engineer Zektar. We have been waiting for you." Lisa shook hands with everyone in the room. The human woman introduced herself as Dr. Amanda Price, the xenotechnology specialist. She looked tired and worried about something. "So when do I get to see my ship?" Lisa asked. Zektar and Dr. Price looked at each other. Something was wrong. "There is a problem, Captain," Zektar said slowly. "The ship will not start." Lisa felt her heart sink. "What do you mean it won't start?" Dr. Price opened her tablet and showed Lisa some charts and numbers. "We finished building the ship 2 months ago. All the systems tested fine, but when we try to turn on the main engines or the navigation system, everything just shuts down." "Have you found what's causing it?" Lisa asked. "No," Zektar said. He sounded frustrated. "We have checked every system 3 times. The ship should work perfectly, but it acts like it doesn't want to fly." Lisa followed the engineers through more corridors until they reached a large window. Outside, she could see her ship for the first time. The Horizon's Edge was beautiful. It was about 300 meters long with smooth white metal and blue lights along the sides. It looked fast and powerful, even sitting still in space. "The ship uses bio-neural technology," Dr. Price explained. "Living computer circuits that can think and learn. It's very advanced, much better than regular computers." "And you're sure there's nothing wrong with these bio-neural circuits?" Lisa asked. "We've tested them many times," Zektar said. "They work fine when we test them alone, but when we try to use them to control the ship, they just stop responding." They took a shuttle over to the ship. Lisa was amazed by how big it was up close. The inside was even more impressive. The corridors were wide and bright with soft lighting and comfortable rooms for the crew. Everything looked new and clean. The bridge was on the top level of the ship. It had a large view screen at the front and control stations arranged in a circle. The captain's chair sat in the middle, facing the screen. Behind it was the pilot station, with controls that looked more like a work of art than computer equipment. "This is where the problem is worst," Dr. Price said, pointing to the pilot station. "The bio-neural circuits here are the most advanced on the ship. They're supposed to connect directly with the pilot's mind to make flying easier and more natural." Lisa walked over to the pilot station and looked at the controls. They were dark and silent. "What happens when you try to turn them on?" "Watch," Zektar said. He pressed some buttons on a nearby control panel. For a moment, lights began to appear on the pilot station. Then, after just a few seconds, they went dark again. "It's like the ship is waiting for something," Dr. Price said quietly. "Waiting for what?" Lisa asked. "We don't know." Just then, a young man entered the bridge. He was human, with short brown hair and the uniform of a Federation pilot. He looked nervous about interrupting them. "Excuse me," he said. "I'm Lieutenant Jake Martinez. I was assigned to help with the ship testing." Lisa shook his hand. "Nice to meet you, Lieutenant. I'm Captain Grant." "I know who you are, ma'am," Jake said with a smile. I've read about your missions to the Outer Rim. It's an honor to serve under you. As Jake walked closer to the pilot station, something strange happened. The lights on the controls began to flicker. Everyone stopped talking and stared. Did you see that? Dr. Price whispered. The lights flickered again when Jake moved closer. When he stepped back, they went dark. Lieutenant Martinez, Lisa said slowly, please sit in the pilot's chair. Jake looked confused but did as she asked. The moment he sat down, the entire pilot station came to life. Lights danced across the controls, and soft music seemed to come from the walls themselves. The view screen at the front of the bridge turned on, showing the space outside the ship. Everyone stood in shocked silence. How did you do that? Zektar asked Jake. I didn't do anything, Jake said. I just sat down. Dr. Price was already checking her tablet, reading numbers and charts that were changing rapidly. The bioneural circuits are responding, all of them. This is incredible. Lisa felt a chill run down her spine. Stand up, Lieutenant. Jake stood up and immediately all the lights went dark again. The view screen turned off and the music stopped. Sit back down, Lisa ordered. Jake sat down again, and once more the bridge came alive. This time Lisa noticed something else. The hum of the ship's engines, which had been silent before, now filled the air with a low, pleasant sound. The main engines are online, Dr. Price said, her voice full of excitement. Navigation systems are working. Everything is working. Lisa looked at Jake, who seemed as surprised as everyone else. Lieutenant, have you ever worked with bioneural technology before? No, ma'am, Jake said. This is my first assignment with alien tech. Then how do you explain this? Jake shrugged. I honestly don't know, Captain, but it feels right somehow. Like the ship wants me to be here. Dr. Price was typing rapidly on her tablet. Captain, I need to run some tests. This could be the breakthrough we've been looking for. Lisa nodded, but she felt worried. If the ship would only work with Jake at the controls, what did that mean for their mission? And why would advanced alien technology respond to one human pilot? We need to understand what's happening here, she said. Dr. Price, I want a full report on Lieutenant Martinez and his interaction with the ship's systems. Yes, ma'am. As Lisa looked around the bridge, now bright and alive with Jake in the pilot's seat, she realized that their mission was going to be much more complicated than anyone had expected. Dr. Amanda Price sat in her laboratory looking at test results that made no sense. For 3 days she had been studying what happened when Jake Martinez sat in the pilot's chair. The numbers on her computer screen showed impossible things. Jake was in the lab with her, sitting quietly while machines scanned his brain. Thin wires were attached to his head, measuring his thoughts and brain waves. He looked tired but patient. The readings are unlike anything I've ever seen, Amanda said to Captain Grant, who stood nearby watching. When Jake connects with the ship's systems, his brain patterns change completely. Change how? Lisa asked. It's like his mind grows bigger, Amanda explained. Normal human brains use electricity in certain patterns, but when Jake interfaces with the bioneural circuits, those patterns become much more complex, much more powerful. Jake opened his eyes. It doesn't feel strange to me, he said. When I sit at the controls, everything just makes sense. I can feel the ship thinking. Ships don't think, said Chief Engineer Zektar, who had been listening, from across the room. They are machines. This one does, Jake said firmly. I know it sounds crazy, but the ship has feelings. It's happy when I'm there and sad when I leave. Amanda looked at her test results again. She had been studying alien technology for 10 years, but she had never seen anything like this. Captain, I think we need to bring in more experts. This is bigger than just one ship. Lisa nodded. I've already contacted Earth. Dr. Kevin Walsh is coming. He's the best xenobiologist in the Federation. That afternoon, Amanda and Jake went back to the ship to run more tests. This time, Amanda brought different equipment. She wanted to scan the ship's bioneural circuits while Jake was connected to them. The bridge was quiet when they arrived. Amanda set up her machines while Jake sat in the pilot's chair. Immediately, the ship came alive around them. Lights glowed, softly, and the air itself seemed to hum with energy. "Jake, I want you to try something," Amanda said. "Think about flying the ship to the planet below us." Jake closed his eyes and concentrated. On Amanda's scanner, she could see his brainwaves changing. But something else was happening too. The ship's bio-neural circuits were changing in exactly the same way. "They're synchronized," Amanda whispered to herself. "The ship's brain and Jake's brain are working together." "I can see the planet," Jake said, his eyes still closed. "Not with my eyes, but with the ship's sensors. I can feel the gravity pulling at us. I can sense the other ships around the station." Amanda checked her readings. The ship's sensors were indeed active, even though no one had turned them on. The navigation computer was calculating flight paths to the planet, all by itself. "Jake, can you make the ship move?" "I think so," Jake said. "But should I? We're still docked to the station." "No, don't move yet," Amanda said quickly. "Just feel if you could." Jake was quiet for a moment. Then he smiled. "Yes. The ship wants to fly. It's been waiting so long to move through space." Amanda's scanner showed something that made her heart gruesome. The ship's engines were warming up, responding to Jake's thoughts alone. She had never seen technology so advanced. Over the next week, Dr. Kevin Walsh arrived from Earth. He was an older man with gray hair and kind eyes. He had studied alien biology for 30 years and had written books about how different species think and learn. Kevin spent hours with Jake, testing his blood and scanning his DNA. He also studied the ship's bio-neural circuits, comparing them to the brains of different alien species. "I have a theory," Kevin told the group during a meeting in the briefing room. "But you're not going to believe it." "Try us," Lisa said. Kevin activated a holographic display that showed complex brain patterns. "These bio-neural circuits aren't from any known alien species. I've compared them to every race in the Federation database. They don't match." "Then where did they come from?" Zektar asked. "I think they came from a species that no longer exists," Kevin said. "An ancient race that died out long ago." Amanda leaned forward. "You're talking about the architects?" Kevin nodded. "The architects left ruins on dozens of planets throughout the galaxy. We've never found any living architects, and we don't know what happened to them. But we know they were incredibly advanced." "What does this have to do with Jake and the ship?" Lisa asked. Kevin changed the holographic display to show Jake's brain patterns alongside the ship's bio-neural circuits. "Look at this. Jake's brain waves match the patterns we found in architect ruins. Humans seem to think in a way that's very similar to how the architects thought." Everyone in the room was quiet. The idea was almost too big to understand. "Are you saying the architects built this technology for humans?" Amanda asked. "I think so," Kevin said. "The bio-neural circuits were designed to work with minds that think like Jake's mind, like human minds." Zektar made a sound that meant disagreement in his language. "That is impossible. Humans and architects never met. Humans were still primitive when the architects disappeared." "Maybe they never met," Kevin said. "But maybe the architects knew about humans anyway. Maybe they were watching Earth, waiting to see how humans would develop." Jake spoke up from his chair. "When I connect with the ship, sometimes I get flashes of images, like memories that aren't mine. I see strange cities and beings I don't recognize." "Architect memories," Kevin said, excitedly. "The bio-neural circuits might contain actual architect thoughts and experiences." Lisa felt overwhelmed by all this information. "Dr. Walsh, are you telling me that an ancient alien race built this ship specifically for humans to use?" "Not just this ship," Kevin said. "I've been researching architect sites across the galaxy. Many of them show signs of technology that might respond to human neural patterns. The architects might have left us an entire inheritance." Amanda looked at her scanner readings again. Everything was starting to make sense. That would explain why the ship only responds to Jake. It's not responding to him personally. It's responding to his human brain patterns. "So any human could pilot this ship?" Lisa asked. Theoretically, yes, Kevin said. But Jake seems to have a particularly strong connection. Some humans might be better at interfacing with architect technology than others. Jake stood up from his chair. There's something else, he said. When I'm connected to the ship, I can feel other things out there. Other pieces of architect technology, scattered across space. They're calling to us. Kevin's eyes widened. Jake, can you sense where these other pieces are? Some of them, Jake said. The ship seems to know where they are. It wants to visit them. Lisa realized that their simple exploration mission had become something much more important. If Jake was right, and if Dr. Walsh's theories were correct, then humans had just inherited the greatest treasure in the galaxy. But she also realized that not everyone would be happy about this. The other species in the Federation might not want humans to have access to such powerful technology. We need to be very careful about who we tell, Lisa said. This information could change everything. Amanda nodded. The question is, what do we do now? Jake looked out the window at the stars beyond the station. We fly, he said simply. The ship has been waiting for us for thousands of years. It's time to take it home. Captain Lisa Grant stood in the Federation Council chamber, facing 12 alien representatives from different worlds. The chamber was enormous, with seats arranged in a circle around the center where she stood. Each representative looked serious and concerned. Captain Grant, said Counselor Vexrim, a tall Vorthon with 4 arms and silver skin. We have heard disturbing reports about your ship. Is it true that only humans can operate it? Lisa took a deep breath. She knew this meeting would be difficult. Yes, Counselor. Our tests show that the Horizon's Edge responds specifically to human neural patterns. The chamber filled with angry voices speaking in different alien languages. Counselor Threndal, the Vorthon ambassador, stood up from his seat. His 4 arms moved as he spoke, which meant he was very upset. This is unacceptable, Threndal said in his deep voice. The Federation was built on equality between all species. No single race should have exclusive access to advanced technology. Lisa waited for the noise to die down before speaking again. With respect, Counselor, we didn't choose this situation. The technology was designed this way by the architects long before humans joined the Federation. The architects are dead, said Counselor Kretha, a small green alien with large eyes. Why should their ancient preferences matter now? Dr. Kevin, Walsh stepped forward from where he had been waiting behind Lisa. May I speak, counselors? Counselor Vexrim nodded. The architect technology isn't just responding to humans randomly, Kevin explained. Our research shows that they specifically designed it for minds that think in certain ways. Humans happen to have those thinking patterns. Convenient, Threndal said with suspicion in his voice. Meanwhile, back at New Geneva Station, Jake Martinez was running test flights with the Horizon's Edge. The ship had been cleared for short trips around the solar system, but only with Jake as the pilot. Amanda Price sat at the navigation station, watching Jake work with the ship's controls. It was amazing to see. Jake's hands barely touched the controls, but the ship responded to his thoughts as if it could read his mind. How does it feel? Amanda asked through the communication system. Like flying in a dream, Jake answered. His eyes were closed as he guided the ship through a complex series of turns. I don't have to think about where to go. I just want to go there and the ship takes us. On Amanda's scanner, she could see Jake's brain patterns merging with the ship's bioneural circuits. They were becoming one mind, working together perfectly. Jake, try activating the deep space sensors, Amanda said. Jake nodded and concentrated. Immediately, the ship's most advanced sensors came online. The view screen showed detailed images of planets and moons millions of kilometers away. The sensors were so powerful, they could detect the smallest asteroids and even measure the chemical composition of distant atmospheres. Incredible, Amanda whispered. The ship's sensor range just increased by 500%. But when Amanda tried to activate the same sensors using the manual controls, nothing happened. The advanced systems would only work when Jake was connected to them through the bioneural interface. Back in the Federation Council chamber, the debate was getting more heated. "We demand that the architect technology be reverse-engineered," Threndall said firmly. "If it can be made to work with human minds, it can be modified to work with all Federation species." Dr. Kevin Walsh shook his head. "We've tried that, Counselor. The neural patterns required are too specific. It would be like trying to change the color of your blood. It's built into the basic structure of how different species think." "Then perhaps," said Counselor Xenoc, "a spider-like alien with 8 legs. This technology should be destroyed rather than allowing one species to dominate the others." Lisa felt her heart sink. "Counselors, humanity has no desire to dominate anyone. We want to share the benefits of this technology with all Federation members." "How can you share something that only you can use?" Threndall demanded. "The same way we've always shared our discoveries," Lisa replied. "Human pilots will fly the ships, but the crews will include members from all Federation species. The knowledge and resources we find will belong to everyone." Counselor Vexrim leaned forward in his seat. "And what happens when more architect technology is found? Will humans claim exclusive rights to all of it?" Kevin stepped forward again. "Actually, Counselor, our research suggests that different architect technologies were designed for different species. Humans seem to be matched with exploration and navigation systems, but there may be other technologies meant for other races." This was the first time Kevin had mentioned this possibility. Even Lisa looked surprised. "Explain," Counselor Kretha said. "The architects left ruins on hundreds of worlds," Kevin said. "Not all of them show the same neural patterns. Some sites have technology that might respond to Zeltharian thought patterns. Others might work with Vorthon or Keplerite minds." The chamber became very quiet. If Kevin was right, then the horizon's edge was just the beginning. "Are you saying the architects planned for all of us?" Counselor Vexrim asked. "It's possible," Kevin said. "They might have studied many different species and designed technologies to match each one's strengths." Meanwhile, Jake was experiencing something new during his test flight. As he pushed the ship's systems further, he began to sense something else in space around them. "Amanda," he said, opening his eyes suddenly. "There's something out there." "What do you mean?" "I can feel other pieces of architect technology. They're not close, but they're calling to us somehow." Amanda checked her instruments, but her normal sensors showed nothing unusual. "Where?" Jake concentrated harder. The ship's bio-neural circuits seemed to reach out into space like invisible arms, searching for something familiar. "There," Jake said, pointing toward a region of space beyond the outer planets. "Something big. It feels like a space station or maybe a ship much larger than ours." Amanda recorded the coordinates Jake indicated. "How can you sense something so far away?" "I don't know," Jake said. "But the ship knows it's there. It wants to go investigate." Back in the council chamber, the debate continued. But now the tone had changed. Instead of arguing about whether humans should have the technology, the counselors were beginning to discuss how to find and distribute other architect technologies. "If Dr. Walsh is correct," Counselor Vexrim said, "then we need to organize systematic searches of all known architect sites." "Agreed," said Threndall, though he still looked unhappy. "But until we find technologies for other species, the human advantage remains a problem." Lisa saw an opportunity. "What if we compromise? The Horizon's Edge will operate under Federation command, with mixed crews. Any discoveries will be shared equally. In return, humanity asks for the right to explore known architect sites to look for technologies meant for other species." The counselors spoke quietly among themselves in their various languages. Finally, Counselor Vexrim stood up. "The Federation Council will consider your proposal, Captain Grant. But understand this. If humans abuse this privilege, there will be consequences." As Lisa left the council chamber, she felt both relief and worry. They had avoided the worst outcome, but the political situation was still dangerous. And based on what Jake had sensed during his test flight, their problems were about to get much more complicated. The architects had left them more than just one ship. They had left them a galaxy full of mysteries. 3 weeks after the Federation Council meeting, everything went wrong. Captain Lisa Grant was in her ready room when the emergency alarm sounded throughout New Geneva Station. She rushed to the communication center and found chaos. Admiral Frank Turner appeared on the main screen, his face grim and tired. "Captain, we have a situation," Turner said. "The Kepler Consortium has filed a formal complaint with the Federation Supreme Court. They want the Horizon's Edge impounded until the technology dispute is resolved." Lisa felt her stomach drop. The Kepler Consortium was a powerful group of 12 alien worlds that often disagreed with human policies. If they were taking legal action, it meant serious trouble. "What are their grounds, Admiral?" Lisa asked. "They claim that giving humans exclusive access to architect technology violates the Federation Treaty of Equality. They have support from 47 worlds." Amanda Price entered the communication center just in time to hear the bad news. She looked pale and worried. "Admiral, what about our research?" Amanda asked. "We found evidence of other architect sites that might work, with different species." "That's not enough," Turner replied. "The consortium wants proof, not theories, and they want it now." After the communication ended, Lisa and Amanda walked to the observation deck where they could see the Horizon's Edge floating in space. The beautiful ship looked peaceful, unaware of the political storm surrounding it. "There has to be something we can do," Amanda said. "Maybe there is," Lisa replied slowly. "Jake said he could sense other architect technology. What if we could find some and prove Dr. Walsh's theory?" Amanda shook her head. "The Council would never approve a mission now. It's too risky politically." "Then we don't ask for approval." Amanda stared at Lisa. "Captain, you're not seriously thinking about stealing your own ship?" "Not stealing," Lisa said. "Taking it for an unauthorized test flight." Meanwhile, Jake Martinez was in the ship's gym, trying to work off his frustration with exercise. Since the political problems started, he had been banned from flying the ship beyond the station's immediate area. But even here in the gym, he could feel the Horizon's Edge calling to him. The ship was unhappy. Jake could sense its mood through the bio-neural connection that never completely turned off. The ship wanted to fly, to explore, to fulfill the purpose the architects had built into it thousands of years ago. Dr. Kevin Walsh found Jake in the gym and sat down beside him. "How are you holding up?" Kevin asked. "Not great," Jake admitted. "It's like being separated from part of myself. The ship and I are supposed to be together." "I know this is hard," Kevin said, "but I think I might have found something that could help." Kevin activated a small holographic projector and showed Jake a star map. Several systems were marked with bright red dots. "These are architect sites that show different neural pattern signatures," Kevin explained. "This one here in the Vega system shows patterns that match Zeltharian brainwaves, and this one near Alpha Centauri might work with Vorthan minds." Jake studied the map. "How far are they?" "The closest is about 6 hours away at quantum jump speed. But Jake, we can't just go there. The political situation is too dangerous." Jake was quiet for a moment, concentrating. Then his eyes widened. "Dr. Walsh, the ship is telling me something. There's an architect site much closer than any of these." "Where?" "In the asteroid belt of this system. The ship's been trying to tell me about it for days, but I didn't understand until now." Kevin looked excited. "Jake, if there's an architect site in this system, we could reach it in just a few hours. We could get proof that other species can use architect technology." "But we'd need permission from the Federation Council," Jake said. "Not necessarily," said a voice behind them. They turned to see Captain Grant standing in the doorway of the gym. She looked determined and slightly dangerous. "Captain, what are you thinking?" Kevin asked. "I'm thinking that sometimes good officers have to bend the rules to serve the greater good," Lisa said. "Jake, how long would it take to reach this asteroid belt site?" "About 3 hours each way," Jake replied. "And how long to scan it and determine if it responds to other species?" Kevin thought for a moment. "If we bring the right equipment, maybe 2 hours." Lisa nodded. 8 hours total. We could be back before anyone notices we're gone. "Captain, this is crazy," Amanda said, appearing in the doorway. She had been listening from the corridor. "If we're caught, it could mean court-martial for all of us." And if we don't try, the ship gets impounded and humanity loses its chance to prove that the architects meant for all Federation species to benefit from their technology, Lisa replied. Jake stood up from the bench. I'm in. The ship needs to do this. I can feel how important it is. Kevin looked nervous but nodded. The scientific value is enormous. We have to try. Amanda sighed. I can't let you do this without proper scanning equipment. I'm coming too. 2 hours later, the four of them were on the bridge of the horizon's edge. Lisa had filed a flight plan for a routine systems test in nearby space. Nothing unusual about that. Jake sat in the pilot's chair, and immediately, the ship came alive, around them. The engines hummed with power, and all the advanced systems activated. Jake, take us out slowly, Lisa ordered. We don't want to attract attention. The ship moved away from New Geneva Station like it was taking a casual flight, but once they were out of scanner range, Jake engaged the quantum drive and they jumped toward the asteroid belt. The journey took exactly 3 hours, just as Jake had predicted. When they dropped out of quantum space, they found themselves surrounded by floating rocks and ice chunks. But Jake guided the ship deeper into the belt, following instincts that came from the bio-neural connection. There, Jake said, pointing to a large asteroid that looked different from the others. Amanda scanned it with the ship's sensors. Captain, this asteroid is artificial. It's made of the same materials we found in other architect ruins. As they got closer, they could see that the asteroid was actually a space station, ancient and dark but still intact after thousands of years. Jake, can you sense anything? Lisa asked. Jake concentrated, reaching out with his mind through the ship's bio-neural circuits. Yes, there's technology inside that station, but it feels different from our ship's technology. Different how? Kevin asked. It's not calling to me, it's calling to someone else. Amanda's scanners confirmed what Jake was sensing. The neural pattern signatures are completely different. This technology was designed for minds that think in ways humans don't. Whose minds? Lisa asked. Kevin was studying the readings on his tablet. Based on the patterns, I'd say Zeltharian minds. This station was built for the Zeltharians. They spent the next 2 hours scanning the station and documenting everything they found. The evidence was clear. The architects had indeed built different technologies for different species. We have proof, Amanda said excitedly. This will change everything. But their celebration was cut short when the ship's communication system activated. Federation Vessel Horizon's Edge, this is Admiral Turner. You are ordered to return to New Geneva Station immediately. Lisa looked at her crew. They had found what they were looking for, but now they had to face the consequences of their unauthorized mission. Admiral, Lisa said into the communicator, we have important evidence about architect technology, evidence that could resolve the current political crisis. Captain Grant, you are in direct violation of Federation orders. Return to base now or face charges of theft and mutiny. Jake looked at Lisa with worry in his eyes. Captain, what do we do? Lisa stared out at the ancient architect station floating in space before them. They had the proof they needed, but would anyone listen to them now that they had broken the rules to get it? We go back and face the consequences, she said finally. But we go back with the truth. The Federation Council chamber was packed with representatives from every member world. Captain Lisa Grant stood in the center, facing the most important trial in Federation history. Behind her sat Jake Martinez, Dr. Amanda Price, and Dr. Kevin Walsh, all waiting to learn their fate. Counselor Vexrim banged his gavel to bring order to the noisy chamber. Captain Grant, you and your crew are charged with theft of Federation property and violation of direct orders. How do you plead? Guilty, Counselor, Lisa said firmly. But I request permission to present evidence that justifies our actions. Ambassador. Threndall stood up from his seat, his forearms crossed in anger. There is no justification for stealing a starship, Captain. You have proven that humans cannot be trusted with advanced technology. I disagree, said a new voice from the back of the chamber. Everyone turned to see Chief Engineer Zektar walking down the aisle. The tall Zeltharian engineer looked excited and nervous at the same time. Counselor Vexrim, Zektar said, I request Permission to speak about the evidence Captain Grant's team discovered. Permission granted, Vexrim replied. Zektar activated a holographic display that showed the ancient architect station they had found in the asteroid belt. 3 days ago, I led a team of Zeltharian engineers to investigate this station. We made an incredible discovery. The hologram changed to show the inside of the station. Ancient corridors and rooms appeared, filled with technology that glowed with soft blue light. When my team entered the station, the technology activated. Zektar continued. Not for humans this time, but for us, for Zeltharians. A murmur of amazement went through the chamber. Counselor Kretha leaned forward in her seat. Are you saying this architect technology responds to Zeltharian minds? She asked. Exactly, Zektar replied. Just as the Horizon's Edge responds to human neural patterns, this station responds to ours. We were able to activate systems that have been dormant for thousands of years. Dr. Kevin Walsh stood up. Counselors, may I explain what we believe happened? Vexrim nodded. The architects were incredibly advanced, Kevin said. They didn't just build technology for one species. They studied many different races and created technologies that matched each species' unique abilities and thinking patterns. The holographic display changed to show a galaxy-wide map with hundreds of bright dots. These are all known architect sites, Kevin continued. We believe each one contains technology designed for different Federation species. The architects weren't showing favoritism to humans. They were leaving gifts for everyone. Ambassador Threndal looked skeptical. Even if this is true, it doesn't excuse Captain Grant's theft of the ship. Perhaps not, said Counselor Xenoc, the spider-like representative. But it does change the situation considerably. Lisa stepped forward. Counselors, I accept full responsibility for my actions, but I ask you to consider why we took such a risk. The Federation was about to tear itself apart over a misunderstanding. Captain Grant is right, said a voice from the observation gallery. Everyone looked up to see Admiral Turner entering the chamber. Behind him walked several other high-ranking Federation officers. Admiral, Vexrim said, what brings you here? New. Information, Counselor, Turner replied. Based on the evidence Captain Grant's team discovered, we have sent exploration teams to 12 other architect sites. The results are remarkable. Turner activated his own holographic display. We found technologies designed for Vorthons, Keplerites, Centaurians, and 6 other Federation species. The architects left something for everyone. The chamber erupted in excited conversations as representatives from different worlds realized that their species might have their own architect inheritance waiting to be discovered. This changes everything, Counselor Vexrim said. Meanwhile, Jake Martinez was experiencing something strange. As the council session continued, he felt the Horizon's Edge calling to him from where it was docked at the station. But this time the call felt different, stronger and more urgent. Jake closed his eyes and reached out with his mind through the bio-neural connection. What he sensed made him gasp. Dr. Walsh, Jake whispered. Something's happening. Kevin looked at Jake with concern. What is it? The ship is picking up signals from all the architect sites that have been activated. They're all connected somehow. Amanda Price heard this and pulled out her scanner. Even from inside the council chamber, she could detect unusual energy readings. Jake's right, she whispered. There's some kind of network activating across the galaxy. Back at the architect station in the asteroid belt, Zektar's engineering team was witnessing something amazing. The ancient technology wasn't just responding to their presence anymore. It was actively communicating with them. Chief Zektar, one of the engineers called out. The station is receiving signals from other locations. It's like a galaxy-wide communication system is coming online. In the council chamber, Jake suddenly stood up. Counselors, he said, his voice carrying clearly through the large room. I need to get to my ship. Something important is happening. Lieutenant Martinez, Vexrim said, you are in the middle of a trial. The architects left us more than just technology, Jake said urgently. They left us a message. All the sites that have been activated are connecting to each other. The network is trying to tell us something. Dr. Walsh looked amazed. Jake, are you saying the architect sites form some kind of galactic communication system? Yes, Jake said. And it's been waiting for all the different species to find their pieces before it could activate fully. Counselor Vexrim made a decision. This trial is suspended. Lieutenant Martinez, get to your ship. We need to know what the architects are trying to tell us. Jake ran from the chamber with Lisa, Amanda, and Kevin right behind him. They took the fastest shuttle to the horizon's edge and rushed to the bridge. The moment Jake sat in the pilot's chair, the ship exploded with activity. Every system came online at once, and the bioneural circuits pulsed with more energy than they had ever seen. Jake, what's happening? Lisa asked. Jake's eyes were closed, his mind fully connected to the ship and the growing network of architect sites. They're showing me something. A star map, but not of our galaxy. On the main view screen, an image appeared of a distant galaxy, beautiful and bright with billions of stars. The architects came from there, Jake said, his voice filled with wonder. They're not extinct, they just went home. But before they left, they prepared this galaxy for us. Amanda's scanners were going crazy with readings. Captain, I'm detecting massive energy signatures from architect sites all across Federation space. They're all connecting to form one giant network. What's the purpose of this network? Lisa asked. Jake opened his eyes and smiled. It's a gift. The architects spent thousands of years studying every species in our galaxy. They left us technology that matches our strengths and abilities. But more than that, they left us a way to work together. The view screen changed to show technical diagrams and star charts that none of them had ever seen before. Information about faster-than-light travel, energy generation, and technologies beyond their current understanding. They're giving us the tools to explore beyond our galaxy, Kevin said in amazement. To follow in their footsteps. Back in the council chamber, representatives from every world watched as their own species architect sites came online and joined the network. The political disputes that had divided them seemed petty, compared to the magnitude of what they were discovering. The charges against Captain Grant and her crew are dismissed, Counselor Vexrim announced. Their actions, while unauthorized, have led to the greatest discovery in Federation history. Ambassador Threndall stood up slowly. I formally apologize to Captain Grant and the human delegation. We have all learned something important today about the value of cooperation. 2 hours later, the Horizon's Edge launched from New Geneva, stationed on its first official mission. The ship carried a crew of 12 officers representing 6 different Federation species, but Jake Martinez sat in the pilot's chair. As they entered quantum space for their journey to the first architect site outside Federation territory, Jake felt the ship's happiness flowing through their neural connection. After thousands of years of waiting, the Horizon's Edge was finally fulfilling its true purpose. Course laid in, Captain, Jake reported. Take us out, Lieutenant, Lisa said with a smile. Let's go see what the architects have waiting for us, among the stars. The ship jumped forward into the unknown, carrying its diverse crew toward adventures that would reshape their understanding of the galaxy and their place in it.